friends, myself Carol, and I'm so happy to be with all of you today here. Today I've invited some of my very special friends who will be telling you something more about Mother Mary. So say hi to Ernest, Sharon, Sonia and Vanessa.
Carol, you forgot to introduce me to your kids and to your friends.
I'm so sorry, Jumbo. So children, today we have a very special guest, Mr. Jumbo. Children, say hi to Jumbo. Hi, Jumbo.
Hi kids, hi friends. Hi Carol.
Hi, Jumbo. So children, Mother Mary has various different forms, isn't it?
Different form, Carol?
Yes, Jumbo. Mother Mary has appeared in various different places, wearing various different dresses, various different devotions. Just as you and me, we wear different dresses when we go out, when we go for weddings or any outings with Mama Dada, we wear different dresses, isn't it? So does Mother Mary wear different dresses. But there is only one mother of Jesus Christ, and that is Mother Mary. So, what are we waiting for? Let's see what our special friends have to tell you something more about Mother Mary.
Yes, I'm so excited to know about Mother Mary.
So let's go.
Our Lady of Flowers.
Hi children, my name is Sonia. As we are today discussing about the apparition of Mother Mary, let us discuss about the apparition that took place in France in a village called Etienne. Our Lady of Flowers. Our Lady of Flowers, also called as Our Lady of Refuge of Sinners. This story is about Benoit Trencavel. She was a poor shepherd living in the French Alps. This incident took place between 1664 and 1718. Virgin Mother Mary appeared to her throughout her life. Such a blessing. Let's look at this amazing story in detail.
Benoit Rensurel was born on September 16, 1647, in a little village called Saint-Étienne de Vancourt. This little village was located in southern France at the foothills of the French Alps. By the time Benoit was 12 years old, she took employment for two masters at the same time. She started looking after their sheep in return for a small payment. She had turned 17 years old by now. She had just arrived in front of a little grotto on the site. It was then that she saw a lady of incomparable beauty standing before her. She was holding a child, no less beautiful by the hand. In spite of Saint Maurice's prediction, the naive little shepherd girl could not believe that she was in the presence of the Mother of God.
Oh, beautiful lady, what are you doing up there?
Then, without waiting for an answer, she added,
Would you be so kind as to give me the child?
The lady smiled without answering. At mealtime, she took a piece of bread and said,
Do you want to eat with me? I have some good bread which can be softened at the fountain.
The lady smiled again, enjoying the presence of Benoit. The lady allowed Benoit to hold her child for a while. Then, when it was evening, she took the child in her arms, entered the grotto, and disappeared. Benoit continued to see Our Lady as she shepherded her sheep there each day for the next 4 months. One day, Virgin Mary revealed her name to Benoit.
I am Mary, the mother of Jesus.
The shepherd girl was not really shocked, as she had already guessed it by now.
You will not see me here for any more, not for some time.
Benoit was very sad to hear that. Benoit did not see her heavenly mistress for an entire month. She missed talking to the Blessed Virgin. It was the end of September. She was, as usual, shepherding her flock when she suddenly sensed that Our Lady was somewhere nearby. Benoit ran searching for her. When she had to cross a river, she climbed on top of a goat to cross the river. Halfway up the hill that leads to Laos, Benoit caught sight of the Virgin. She threw herself at her feet and asked,
Oh, good mother, Why did you deprive me of the joy of seeing you for so long?
From now on, you will only see me in the chapel that is in Laos.
She searched the next day for a long time to find the chapel. She knew she had found the chapel when she smelled a sweet smell nearby. The little chapel in Laos was no more than a small, thatch-roofed structure, just over 2 meters square. She saw the doors of the chapel were wide open and walked inside. Inside, she found the beautiful lady standing on the dust-covered altar.
My daughter, you have searched diligently for me, and you should not have wept. Even so, you pleased me by not being impatient.
But Benoit was embarrassed at how dirty and poor the chapel was.
Honorable lady, would you like me to spread my apron under your feet? It is very wide.
Our Lady refused and assured her that the chapel would soon be well adorned.
I want a large church built on this spot. The church will be built in honor of my dear son and myself. Here, many sinners will be converted. I will appear to you often here.
Build a church? It will need a lot of money.
Do not worry. You will find all that you need when the time comes, and it will not be long.
Benoit traveled the 4 kilometers to Laos every day, even through the entire winter. She prayed as Mary had instructed for the conversion of sinners. In 1665, Mary asked her to stop tending her flocks of sheep in order to devote herself to her mission. As news of the continuing apparition spread, the number of visitors to Laos increased from hundreds to thousands. Cures of all kinds abounded, and sinners were converted in great numbers.
You know, kids, that when you say rosary and you fall asleep, what happens?
What happens, Carol?
The rest of the rosary, the angels completed for you. Isn't it so nice and so interesting?
Oh, it's so nice. Now, I'm going to say rosary every night. So, while saying rosary and I'll fall asleep, it's so nice. The angels are going to continue my rosary.
Hello children, have you seen this picture of Mother Mary before? Look at her dressed in gold with a crown. Doesn't she look like a queen? And also look at her Prince Jesus in her arms. You know children, in Tamil Nadu there is a church erected in her honor. It is called as Our Lady of Good Health or Velankani Mada. Would you like to know why this church was erected? It has an interesting story behind it. I would like to tell you if you would like to hear. 400 years ago, a shepherd boy from a small village called Velankani used to carry milk every day to a rich man's house in Nagapatnam, which was 10 kilometers away. One hot summer day, the boy was tired and stopped near a pond for a drink. He rested under the banyan tree and fell into deep sleep. When he woke up, he was amazed to see a beautiful lady standing in front of him. In her arm was a charming child of divine appearance. The lady greeted with a motherly smile and asked for some milk for the child. The boy joyfully offered the milk. After feeding her child, the lady handed over the pot and blessed him for his help. With a deep satisfaction, the boy continued his journey with half-emptied milk pot. When he reached the house of the rich man, he begged pardon for unusual delay and shortage of milk. The boy narrated the rich man the apparition of Our Lady. When he opened the pot, it was overflowing with milk. This miraculous event was spread like wildfire, and the pond was named Madakulam, which means Mother's Pond. Few years later, Velankani was blessed with another apparition of our Blessed Mother, but this time to a poor lame boy. This boy used to live with his mother, who was a poor widow. Every day she would carry her lame son and leave him under a banyan tree with a pot of buttermilk. The boy used to sell buttermilk to the thirsty travelers. One hot day, the boy was waiting for the customers but was disappointed when no one turned up. Suddenly, a beautiful lady stood in front of him, holding a child in her arms. With a motherly smile, she asked for some buttermilk for her child. The boy immediately offered her a cup and looked with deep satisfaction as she fed her child. The lady thanked the boy and requested him for another favor. She asked the boy to go to Nagapattinam and tell the people about the apparition. She also wanted them to build a church to commemorate the apparition. The boy willingly agreed to give the message. Since the boy was lame, he used to wait for his mother to take him there. But the lady told him to stand, and when he did so, he had been miraculously healed with his disability. He ran to Nagapattinam to narrate the apparition to the gentleman, and the gentleman also quickly believed, as he himself had a vision of Mother Mary asking him to build a chapel in her honor. With the willing cooperation of the people over there, they built a chapel and named as Arogya Mada, which means Our Lady of Good Health. Few years later, some Portuguese sailors were sailing from Macau in China to Colombo in Sri Lanka through Bay of Bengal. Suddenly, the ship got into a violent storm. The sailors were terrified. As the helpless sailors fell on their knees and prayed to our Mother Mary, the Star of the Sea, for their rescue. They vowed to build a church in her honor. Their sincere prayers were instantly heard, as suddenly the storm subsided and the ship was pushed to safety to the shores of Velankani. On landing, the sailors fell on their knees and thanked God for saving their life through Blessed Virgin Mary. So they transformed the existing mud chapel into a beautiful stone-built chapel in thanksgiving. Later, whenever their voyage brought them there, they would enhance it, and then they dedicated this chapel to Our Lady on 8th of September to celebrate her feast of Nativity and also to mark the date for their safe landing. The shrine of Velankani attracts millions of visitors a year, especially during the annual 11-day feast. Some pilgrims, instead of using mode of transport, perform walking pilgrimages to it to attend Mass, Navina, flag hosting, and even carry a palki of Mother Mary in her procession. Some pilgrims also shave their heads and crawl on their knees as an offering. People believe that the desire of their hearts will be understood by Mother Mary, and she will intercede to her Son to fulfill them. I would like to share a personal experience of my life. My dad had to undergo a surgery in his neck, and my worried mom prayed to Our Lady of Good Health, Velankani Mada, for successful operation, and my dad was healed, and my mother couldn't thank Mary enough. Since we belong to a town in Tamil Nadu, that is Tuticorin, we usually plan a family trip and like to spend some time in her presence. I suggest each one of you to visit the shrine and experience her blessing.
What if, Carol, if I don't have a rosary beads and I want to say a rosary?
Don't worry, Jumbo, and don't worry, children too. If you don't have rosary currently in your hand and you want to say rosary, don't forget God has given you so special fingers which are 10 in number, isn't it? So there are 10 Hail Marys. You can count all the 10 Hail Marys on your fingers. Isn't it so interesting?
Yes, it is so nice.
Hi everyone, Vanessa here. Remember, Carol had introduced me earlier. So, I am here to talk to you all on a very interesting topic on how Our Lady appeared to Saint Bernadette. Our Lady appeared to Saint Bernadette 18 times in a village called Lourdes. Saint Bernadette was born on January 7, 1884. She was the first child for her parents. However, due to severe misfortune, her family became very poor. They were forced to live in a single room that forced to be a prison cell. The cell was very small. Despite the poverty, they loved each other very much. On 11 Feb 1858, Bernadette went with her sister and one of her friends to look for some firewood. They wandered around collecting firewoods and reached at foothills. There was a small cave there where the cattle often took rest. So, as they were searching for firewoods, they saw a river. They had to cross the river and go to look for firewoods. As Saint Bernadette had severe illness, Saint Bernadette's friend and sister asked her to not cross the river since the water was very cold. So they crossed the river and asked her to sit there and wait for them until they get the firewoods. So Saint Bernadette sat down and was waiting. As time passed, she heard a stormy noise and was frightened. But then she looked here and there and found everything to be normal. Again, after few minutes, she heard the same stormy noise again. So she started looking here and there, and suddenly near a cave, she could see a bright shining light. She went over there, she stood up. The force of the light was so bright, she couldn't see anything. After that, she saw a beautiful figure. She saw a beautiful figure. She saw a woman who was so beautiful, and it appeared to be Mother Mary. That's how Mother Mary appeared to Saint Bernadette. As soon as Saint Bernadette looked at Mother Mary, she was very happy to see her. She was very happy to see that beautiful figure of Mother Mary. As she saw Mother Mary appear in front of her, she was very happy. She knelt down and she started to pray her rosary. But due to severe illness, she couldn't make the sign of the cross. As soon as Mother Mary appeared in front of her, by the grace of Mother Mary, she could do the sign of the cross. So children, that is how Mother Mary of Lourdes appeared to Saint Bernadette.
Now children, if you recite the rosary wholeheartedly and every day, Mama Mary will protect you with her caring arms and you will not face any evil or dangers in your life.
Oh, it's so nice. Now, Carol, every day I'm going to recite a rosary so that I will be protected by Mother Mary.
Yes, Jumbo.
A mother's love is unlike any other love. Our mother is our first friend and our best friend. She cares for us dearly with no expectation of rewards. She tends to us when we are sick. She moves mountains to provide for us. Mother Mary watches over all of us, cares for us, and is with us every step of the way. She is our guiding star who leads us on the path of faithfulness, prayer, and holiness. Our Lady is known for many miracles. I will be telling you about the miracle of Our Lady of Fatima. We celebrate the feast of Our Lady of Fatima on 13th of May every year. How do we come to celebrate this day? There is a very interesting story of three children to whom Mother Mary appeared. These three children came from the town of Fatima in Portugal. Their names were Lucia, Francesco, and Jacinta. One day, when they were on their way back home from tending their flock of sheep, they saw a flash of light in the sky. They were amazed and frightened by it at the same time. With wonder in her eyes, Lucia looked up to the sky, and there she saw a lady clothed in white, gleaming like the bright star. She told them to come to the same place at the same hour on the 13th day of every month for the next 6 months. Let us watch a small video which shows us what happened on that day.
In the small village of Fatima in Portugal lived a little girl named Lucia Santos. It was the spring of 1917 during World War I. Lucia, who was then 9 years old, would go with her two cousins, Francisco and Jacinta Marto, to graze their sheep every day. As they were looking after their sheep one day, they saw a dazzling, beautiful young man, seemingly made of light. They were very surprised and a little scared. The figure then spoke to them and told them not to be afraid. He said he was the angel of peace and had come to tell them to pray to the Lord and adore him. The kids joined the angel in prayer as he had asked. In the autumn, the children again saw the angel as they were looking after the sheep. He appeared before them, holding a chalice in his hands.
What do you think we should do? I am afraid that if we tell anyone about this, they will make fun of us.
The children did not tell anyone about these visits of the angel and decided to keep quiet about these events. On May 13th, 1917, the three children took their flocks out to pasture in the small area known as the Cova da Iria. After lunch and the rosary, they suddenly saw a bright flash of something like lightning, followed quickly by another flash in the clear blue sky. They looked up to see, in Lucia's words, a lady clothed in white, brighter than the sun, radiating a light more clear and intense than a crystal cup filled with sparkling water lit by burning sunlight.
Who are you? Where did you come from?
Do not be afraid. I will not harm you. I come from heaven.
What do you want?
I have come to ask you to come here for 6 months on the 13th day of the month at this same hour. Later, I shall say who I am and what I desire, and I shall return here yet a 7th time.
The lady opened her hand and streamed a light on the children that followed them to see themselves in God. She also had a request.
Say the rosary every day to bring peace to the world and to end the war.
With that, she began to rise into the air, moving towards the east until she disappeared. The children could not believe what had just happened. They were so happy.
Word soon spread all over. People came from far and wide to witness this miracle. As promised, Mother appeared to the children of Fatima.
Children, the earlier people, they used to use a string and made the knots so that they can keep a count on the Hail Marys they're telling. Later, then came the wooden beads, and now we have these beads which you can see. We have get that in different colors and in different sizes, isn't it, children? So promise me that you will be wearing rosary in your neck every day and every time. Will you, Jumbo?
Yes, Carol. Now I'm also going to wear in my neck every day the rosary. It's so nice. Thank you for the nice information you have given me.
Okay, Jumbo. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, kids. Bye, Carol. Bye, friends.